Fearless. Written by Colin Thompson, illustrated by Sarah Davis. When a new baby is born, it's difficult to tell if it will grow up to be big or small or brave or scared of the dark and spiders, so sometimes babies get the wrong name. There are lots of people called Bruce who should probably be called Julian. There are even some people called Bruce who should be called Beryl, and others who should be called Fido. Lightning, Teeny, Cuddle Pie, Princess, Fang, and Tubby. It's the same with dogs. So when the Claiborne Wimlets, who should have been called the Smiths, got Fearless as a little puppy, it seemed a good name for him. Except Fearless wasn't. If a car backfired in the street, so did Fearless. House training was hard for Fearless. Bulldogs have big heads, but most of it is very sick bone. Is very sick bone. They can run into walls and hardly notice, but inside the sick bone, there's too much room for the brain. So Fearless had a terrible time understanding why it was all right to go on the grass, which his dad has spent hours mowing, and not on the carpet, which his dad has no notice of it. He was lying very carefully not to go on the newspapers his mum has left lying on the kitchen floor at night in case she wanted to read them. He might have a teeny nervous brain, but he had a huge heart and loved everyone. He even loved the vet who stuck needles in him. He loved the vet so much he once licked her contact lens out. After that, the vet always wore glasses when Fearless went to see her. Best of all, Fearless loved children, especially the small one that crawled around on the floor. She loved Fearless too, because when she tried to give her dolls a biscuit, nothing happened. But when she gave one to Fearless, he looked very happy and ate it. Fearless knew that it was his job to protect his family from all the frightening things in the world and be brave even when he wasn't. There was scary things everywhere. When Mrs. Jones came to the house, a dangerous black handbag used to follow her and sit on the floor by the chair. Fearless would always back away, growling until his mum trapped the handbag under the cushion. He had to keep an eye on the broom because once when he went into the laundry, it fell on him and it tried to bite him. And as for the stairs, he just didn't want to think about them. He tried to climb them, and when he had been a puppy, and they had tripped him up and made him fall down on his head. Fearless was as soft as custard and wouldn't hurt a fly, except when he sat on once and squashed it. But people who didn't know him used to cross the road because they thought he wanted to bite them. But he was really smiling. Hello. And then one night, Fearless lived up to his name. Everyone had gone to bed and forgotten to lock the back door. Fearless was lying in his bed by the fridge, watching the moonlight crawl across his dinner bowl, when someone opened the door and came into the house. It wasn't one of his friends. It was a man in a funny hat that covered half of his face. Fearless stood up and wagged his tail as the man picked up his mum's handbag. "Hello," Fearless said in his friendliest voice. The man stopped. He looked at Fearless, said a rude word, and jumped on the table. "You're not supposed to put your feet on the table," said Fearless, but the man just heard big dog barks and looked scared. Fearless' dad heard the big barks too and came downstairs. Look, Dad, that naughty man's got his feet on the table," Fearless shouted, and he tried to jump up and pull the man's shoelaces. The man leaped in the air, dropped the handbag, and ran out of the door. "Rude man," said Fearless to himself. "He didn't even say goodbye." "Who they big, brave, fearless dog then," said his dad as he patted Fearless on his head and gave him a piece of cheese. "Is that a trick question?" thought Fearless as he went back to sleep. The next day, his mum bought him a huge bone, which looked so frightening, Fearless had to bury it in the garden.